Makes it have a
Now
real
it
pretty
gives
finish.
us a way to have a nice finish up at the top, and really it's not much work.
And this
So-
lace right here, now, this lace has a lot of give to it. It's not stretchy, but it's heirloom lace is what it is. And so you'll want to make sure that, you know, it comes over here. It's been big enough, but it's just, you know,
It
it's...
stretches out of shape,
Yeah.
but that means we can also stretch it back into shape
Right.
just as easily.
And then all I'm doing is I'm just going back here because I'm following my lace pattern is what I'm doing. And it's about not quite 1/4 of an inch, but close to it that I'm sewing down. And really you're just, it's almost like a top stitch is what really you're doing.
And just like that, in what, less than a minute, we have lace details on a very simple stocking.
Yeah, very pretty and very pretty. And
Okay, so now what do we do?
all right. So of course you want to take your right side of your stocking and match up your felt.
Okay.
There's no need to do anything expensive. Using the felt is saving a lot of your pretty fabric and like that and all.
I agree, we don't need to use quilter's fabric on the back side of these stockings. If
No.
you've got access to felt, use it.
Yeah.
I'm half tempted that we could use sheets, but we had the felt, so that's what we're doing. And honestly, even the black felt, which might be a color we wouldn't otherwise use, with that lace, it makes that lace really pop out. So I'm liking the black in this case.
Okay, so what I've done here is I went on and taken my pin and I'm going to go ahead and pin it because it is, you know, coming off of the edge and like that.
It
just
wants
a
to
little,
creep to the middle,
yes, it
doesn't
wants
it?
to creep over there. So I am going to go ahead and lay it down and then laying it here. And I'm making sure I have 3 layers right here, if you'll see
And
right
we
here.
can see all 3 edges, yeah.
Okay, and then I'm pinning it.
Now, one thing I did discover when I was working with the felt, when I had the felt on top of the sandwich that I was sewing, the feed dogs really gathered up my cotton so that I was about a 1/2 inch short by the time I got around. So me and my best friend had to spend a little time ripping. Best friend is my ripper. So to avoid that, it's better just go ahead and stitch with the felt side down. The feed dogs can't gather felt up like it can with cotton, especially when you've got a squishy layer like.
Okay, so by that, that brings us to another point here. Then you've got a little bit of overlay here and like that, no, because it stretches. That's fine. Make sure your stocking is completely flat. There's no little bubble in it. The front and the back need to match. And then what you can do, you can come over here and put you a pin here. And now you don't have that trouble.
Perfect. And because we did this finish on the lace for the front, the back, we're not going to do anything.
No.
We aren't
No.
folding it over.
No.
We don't have to come back and do anything. When we work our way all the way around this stocking, we're done, other than to add the loop on.
Yeah.
So even though the lace might feel like you're doing an extra step, it's easier than doing a cuff
Good.
or quicker. But like she said, even if you cut it perfectly, it wants to stretch out of shape, so you'll have a
It
little
is.
bit of this overhang, but it can clip off.
One thing I noticed is your felt. There's different grades of the felt. Some is more expensive than others, and so that's what it is you're not going to have some as good a grade.
And I noticed too, when you started the seam, you did do some back tacking, and that's
did.
important because this one, we don't have a cuff or attaching, that would reinforce that seam. And if kids are, if we're loading it full and kids are digging in it, it'll rip apart real easy if we don't do that. Okay.
All right, this is really a good example to show you when something doesn't come out, because these were actually cut, but with
They were
sewing
cut
here,
separately.
yeah, they were cut separately and like that. But sewing this right here, you'd be surprised how much smaller it makes it. So what you do is just lay it down,
Get it smooth, right?
get it good and smooth and like that and all, and then go ahead.
Maybe do a little pinning.
Do a little bit of pinning and like that and all. Because,
Look we can see
Exactly.
there's a difference. It's not going to matter. When the stocking's done, this won't matter.
It will not.
Don't sweat it.
No.
If that happens to you, just,
because nobody's going to take 2 stockings and say, oh, well, mine's bigger than yours.
that's exactly right. Yep.
So, you know,
They might compare what got put inside of it, but they're not going to compare the stocking at all.
no,
And I don't think anybody will ever turn these stockings inside out and inspect the process that we went through. So
And one thing you want to make sure of, being you have had the lace and like that, you want to make sure you have all 3 pieces that you're catching. Otherwise, you're going to have a little bit of a raw edge when you turn it. And so
Yeah.
you want to make sure all 3 pieces. So you see, even though this is showing that I'm going to have to trim it, this is a good example to show you that you have 3, that this right here will be trimmed.
see all 3, yep.
So they really is better. That way you know you have caught all 3 layers.
And if by any chance, like over here, you can see how the black, oh, we're going to have to go back, aren't we? So I'm
there,
glad
you
that
sure
happened.
am. Yeah, there you go.
You know, so if the underside is the short side, it might be good for you to make some markers, maybe transfer the information up on top with a pin or something. But this is not a big deal because
No.
we'll show you in a second how
No.
to do that is to fix.
And really, that's what you have to do with each one of them. You have to go turn it over when you get finished to make
Yes.
sure that you've caught all 3.
Quality control.
There you go. I mean, it's
Of course, we offer a full refund of any stocking. If somebody needs a refund on the free stocking we gave them, we can do it. Right? I see Mary's laughing over there.
Trying to figure out what the refund is gonna be.
Exactly. Those of us who have sewn for a living, there's nothing better than sewing for free because we don't have a worry with that refund business. Now this is clever. Clara's going to catch that in the seam. I like that idea because then that's going to act a little bit like a pin later. Good idea.
okay. I'm gonna look here.
This won't work if you're sewing a cuff on, but it will work when you have a kind of a raw edge
Okay.
stocking at the top.
So you want to make sure you have all your raw edge of your ribbon.
Now let me see how you've got it.
Okay, I was laying like
Oh,
that.
nope.
No,
It has to be laying this way, straight up.
straight up and down.
Yep,
Okay,
and then you'll catch it, and then we'll do the final bar
catch
tack.
it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
And if you don't have a sewing machine that's got a bar tack stitch, which is sometimes called the stretch zigzag or the step zigzag or the mending stitch, you know, forward, backward works.
I didn't check my bobbin before.
Oh, did we run out of bobbin thread? Oh no. All right. Well, check for part 2. We are going to fill our bobbin and we'll be right back.
Okay.